Rallies in the second half, 79-76, outscoring UCLA 46-30 in the second half. This game was bonkers because Gonzaga opened the second half on a 39-16 run. UCLA did not make a field goal for 11 minutes. Then in 40 seconds time, they went on a 10-1 run to take the lead. Amari Bailey, the freshman, hit a big bucket, a big boy bucket to give them the lead. Then Gonzaga goes down. You see Julian Strawther hit the three. Drew Timme missed a couple free throws, and Julian Strawther bailed him out. Timme goes for 36, and it would have sealed the game if he hit both free throws. He did not. Gonzaga rallies in the second half. Offensive rebounds, they dominated. Gonzaga wins another wild one 2 years ago, won in the Final Four in a buzzer beater in overtime. I thought it was going to go overtime. It did not. Gonzaga victorious, moving on to the Elite Eight. All right, back here with Tim Doyle and Avery Johnson, and my goodness, what a game in Las Vegas. Are you kidding me? Your reaction is what to what we just saw?
I mean, what a roller coaster. There's no other way to say it. You thought UCLA had this game signed, sealed, and delivered, only had one turnover at halftime, was operating at a high efficiency rate, and then all of a sudden the wheels fall off. In what sort of way? 11 minutes, no field goals. 11 minutes, coach. They could not get a bucket, and then you thought, all right, now Gonzaga's taking control of this game. Not so fast, 10-1 run, and Amari Bailey made the shot that I thought was going to end up being the game winner. Mark Few says he practices that shot that they ran with Strawther. Now, that's the Chris Jenkins play that Villanova ran with the handoff, and you bang down that three. But while that shot was in the air, Coach, I was thinking, oh, no. What were you thinking?
I was thinking, why was Jaime Jaquez in the game? Because they were substituting out offense, defense. They picked up the ball too late. They should have picked up the ball a whole lot earlier. You know that Jaquez was going to be involved in some sort of a dribble handoff or pick and roll situation. So I'm not sure what the strategy was there. Give UCLA credit. They did foul some of the poor free throw shooters to help them take the lead, but right there at the end, timeout called. You got to have your best defenders on the ball. You got to have them involved. I'm not sure why they allowed Gonzaga to just basically walk the ball up the floor, do a little bit of a dribble handoff. They didn't get the switch because Jaquez was involved in it, and Strawther's just knocked it down, and game over.
Some poor end of game execution for UCLA. They had been 48-1 with a 10-point lead at halftime in the NCAA tournament. Now 48-2. You and I were watching the game, and I go, this offensive rebounding is a storyline. 16-7 on the offensive glass. Gonzaga's getting offensive rebounds, second chance points, generating offense, highest scoring team in the nation. This is what Gonzaga does. You said at halftime, take the points with Gonzaga. You didn't even need them. They went outright. I mean, this is why we love March Madness, but also when you execute, you win games like this.
Yeah, I mean, this ended up being UCLA's Achilles heel, right? Their last loss was to Arizona. What did Arizona do? Ballo, Tubelis beat them up on the backboard. So, they had injuries to their front court. They had injuries to their star defensive players, and you were wondering whether they're going to be able to weather the storm. They weren't able to. But you go 11 minutes without a field goal. Do you deserve to even win the game? 99 out of 100, you don't even deserve to win it. I know they had a double-digit lead at halftime, but, 10, 11 minutes without a field goal. An amazing turn for Gonzaga. Gonzaga, you question, the toughness at times. You question, do they have the fortitude to come from behind, right? We always know they're offensively talented. We always know they have some skilled guys, but I've always questioned kind of what's inside of them. Showed me something tonight. Remarkable comeback against a very tough, experienced, physical team. Timme did everything he could, but you just knew those free throws weren't going to go in. He was begging for those free throws, couldn't make any of them, and he admitted it afterwards. He goes, I got bailed out. I didn't love the shot, but as Coach said, Jaquez, they kind of targeted him as a weak defender. They went at him, and they were able to pull out the W.
And Avery, let's point out here, okay, for UCLA, we're not going to make excuses, but Adem Bona, Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, Jalen Clark, Defensive Player of the Year in the Pac-12. He injured his Achilles in the final game of the regular season. Bona injured in the tournament, his shoulder injury. So that's two key cogs of their lineup. And David Singleton played in this game. And I'm not saying if they had those guys, they maybe win this game, because you got to make buckets in the NCAA tournament. But that was a huge impact not having them on the floor.
Yeah, because those guys, when you talk about some of your better defensive players, you got to get stops. And they couldn't string together enough stops, especially in the second half. I don't know what the speech was for Gonzaga at halftime, but it sure worked. They came out and they were a different team. One of the other things you got to think about tonight, from a strategic standpoint, it seems like UCLA, they really wanted to try to play Timmy one-on-one, except at the end of the game, he kicks it out for a three. But if you look at Timmy, 24 attempts, Hickman in the lineup, what was he, 0 for 3 or 0 for 1? They didn't allow some of the other guys to beat them. So when UCLA goes back and look at this game from a strategy standpoint, they'll look and see how moving forward they can improve in situations like this. But I thought Mick Cronin from UCLA still did an outstanding job coaching his team, even though they came up short. The game was theirs, and unless Strauders makes a big three there to win the game for Gonzaga, UCLA moves on.
Yeah, I mean, the second half, they were 9-30. Can't go 9-30 and win a game in the Sweet 16. Right? You can't go 11 minutes out of bucket. If you're the coach, you can put them in a good position to succeed, but your kids got to make buckets.
We wanted a great game. Did we get it?
Yeah. It was wild.
That's all we care about, right?
I love
a great game, and we got it. This was a spread that was all over the board.
It was a pick 'em.
Gonzaga was favored.
Yep.
UCLA was favored. Gonzaga was favored. And if you watch the game, that's how it went. It went back and forth and back and forth. But you have a double-digit lead with UCLA. They don't give those away until tonight. Remarkable performance. Droughts. We saw Tennessee go through a drought. We saw UCLA go through a drought. Teams that have not gone through offensive droughts, something else we got to watch, because Kansas State hasn't done that. Neither has UConn. You still got to put the ball in the basket, right? Defense can only get you so far. But UCLA, 11 minutes, no field goal. That ended up burning them.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game. I mean, it really was a fantastic game, because at halftime you're like, no, Gonzaga's going to come back. We said that. Take the points with Gonzaga. They end up winning. I mean, look, Julian Strawther bails out Drew Timme. Drew Timme had a great game. Great game, and they continue to roll here. And this is what's interesting here is...
Did you think that was a good shot?
No! The Strawther shot?
Neither did I.
You're like, what are we doing here?
Were you okay with the shot?
No,
He didn't like it.
That was a low percentage shot.
Look at this. Here it is again, a handoff three at the logo. But that's the March Madness. It goes in with a little bit of magic there. He's confident.
I think that's a horrible play. I mean, it's different.
I don't disagree with you.
Here's why I think it's a horrible play, because it was a one-point game. You have a guy who has 36 points. He's arguably one of the greatest college basketball players of this generation, and you don't even think you take a logo three. I mean, that's pretty
Well,
it's one thing if you're down two, but you're down one. You just need a hoop.
Well, here's the thing. He is from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So cash money for Julian Strawther. Right?
When he was shooting that, I thought that was a terrible shot.
Yeah, we were like, it's the classic. No. Yes.
But Mark Few said after the game that he runs that play in practice, and I think that's amazing. I think you need to prepare kids. I would love to see more college coaches prepare kids to do 2-for-1s just for the pure math of it. Nobody goes out there and does it, but Coach made a great point. They saw Jaime Jaquez, and they said, all right, we want to run a handoff to put Strawther in that position to make a play. He thought making a play was taking a logo three. He banged down the shot. The rest is history.
Well, let's also talk about a theme here, too, Avery. Look at the teams, and you called games throughout the tournament. Look at the teams that are healthy, right? Tennessee, Zakai Ziegler, out for the rest of the season. Jalen Clark, out for the rest of the season. We've seen Houston deal with Marcus Sasser. We've seen Alabama deal with Brandon Miller. Their excellence is what is keeping them in the tournament. UCLA, injuries. You see that these teams, it's going to start to build up, and you're not able to overcome it. And now you have this matchup here. You've got UConn and Gonzaga. And for as much as we know, it's a healthy matchup.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.